The king kind of likes Haman because Haman's pretty smart. And he tells Haman, he says, Haman, man, I'm going to promote you.
Haman, I'm going to promote you.
Yes! So he promotes Haman. And guess what happens to Haman? Haman gets the big head. Look, he pats himself on the back and says, I'm just awesome.
I'm just awesome. I'm just awesome.
Okay, so Haman really thinks he's something. Now there's this other guy in the kingdom. Who's the other guy? Mordecai. Okay. Mordecai. Okay, Mordecai, we need you right back. Okay, Mordecai was a Jew. But he sat in the king's gate. That's the king's gate. Okay? So he sat in the king's gate, and Haman comes out after he'd been promoted. He's walking by, and everybody else, they're like bowing to him, right? Everybody's bowing, oh, yes, Haman, Haman. Well, it gets to Mordecai, and Mordecai just kind of sits there. Okay, come on. And Haman looks at him like, you ain't standing up? You ain't standing up? You ain't standing up?
You stand up.
He's like, oh. Okay, so he walks up, right? He walks up. He's heading to his house. Now, in the meantime, he's thinking to himself, right? You think to yourself, I can't believe that Mordecai, how dare him not stand up in front of the great Haman, right? You're the great Haman, ain't you? So how dare him not stand up in front of the great Haman? So Haman's walking around. He walks around. So he comes up with a plan.
I have a plan.
He has a plan, okay? So him and some of his friends get together and they give him some advice. And he decides he's not going to just have Mordecai destroyed. He's going to have all the Jews destroyed. Go, ha, ha, ha. Oh, okay, so he decides, well, I'm going to go up to the king. As a horse. Okay, he's talking to the king. He says to the king, King, we got some people we need to get rid of. We do. Yeah. He said they don't follow anybody's rules.
They don't.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? We gotta just get rid of them all in one day.
How we gonna do that?
Well, let's send out a dispatch, he says, to all the different towns and stuff around, and on the exact same day, the people in towns are going to hunt down the Jews and kill them. Well, he didn't tell them it was Jews, sorry. He says, he's going to hunt down these people and kill them. You see, huh? Yeah, like the plan. So the king says, well, here's my ring. Hands him his ring. Okay? And he says, well, go ahead and get with all the scribes and write that thing down and send it out to all the places you need to send it. So, he gets with the scribes. Come over here, I'm a scribe. Okay, what is it you need me to write?
I am going to destroy all the people.
Aha! Okay, here you go, take this. Oh, I need to tell the king's ring. Okay, here you go. Okay. There, take it for me too. Okay. So then they sent them out with messengers to all the different places in the kingdom. They were going to destroy the Jews. Now, Mordecai finds out about it. Okay, I need you to go off to stage. There. Right? Right. Left or right? Go that way. Okay. Now you just hang out here for a minute. Okay. Okay. Now, Mordecai finds out the big plan and what's going on, right? He's kind of upset because, you know, what's going to happen to all the Jews? Because Haman has set out this plot to destroy the Jews. Now, the king really doesn't know what all's going on. He just trusts Haman. Haman knows what he's talking about, and he just assumes it's going on. So the king, of course, Esther doesn't know anything about it yet either. Esther's oblivious. But Mordecai has found out about it, okay? So, Mordecai comes into the city, to the king's gate, wearing sackcloth. All we have is sacks. So wearing sackcloth. Now, okay. Esther is up here in her room, and she's doing the things that queens do. And a messenger comes to Esther and says, hey, guess what? Mordecai is in the town, and he's dressed in sackcloth. She's like, really? Yeah, really? Oh, that's a good idea. Let's take him. So she goes and she sends Mordecai. Now, if you didn't know, Mordecai was her uncle. Okay? Mordecai was her uncle who had raised her like a daughter. Okay? So, she sends him the clothes, and here, Mordecai, here's some clothes. Mordecai says, well, I really can't do that because I'm upset right now. Well, what are you upset about? They're going to try to kill the Jews. I'll go tell Esther about it. Okay. So, Esther, guess what Mordecai said? He said the reason he's in sackcloth is because they're getting ready to kill all the Jews. Yeah, really? He had a plan for you. Let me see if I remember it. He wants you to go to the king and tell the king about it. That's the problem. Hey, Mordecai. Esther says if she goes to the king wants to kill her. Oh, that's a good point, too. Okay. Do you really think that you're going to live if they kill all the Jews anyways? And Mordecai says that it may be the reason that you're even in the palace is for a time like this. That's where it comes in. Through this morning message. Be listening. Remember? Yeah. Okay. Good point. So, now here was something we need a scepter. Yeah, sorry. Just find anything works. Okay, now here was the thing back in those days. That if someone went to the king's court and they weren't invited, if the king didn't extend his scepter to them, for them to touch, they'd be killed. So if she went before the king, and the king wasn't glad to see her, and didn't extend his scepter, it's curtains for her. Yeah, because it's kind of scary. Is that a manger? Scepters and mangers are so close. I like improvisation. He was one of them that knew how to handle his woman, If I tell you anything. Time for a commercial break. Yeah. That'll work. Okay. Okay, and we're back. Okay. Now, Esther comes before the king and stands in the court. Okay? Now she's scared because, is the king going to extend his scepter? And is he going to let me in? And guess what the king does? So she comes up and she touches